Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back to a new video. The flag is back on the wall and we are here to do a video that I have been running through in my head for at least a week, if not longer, and it's my top Newcastle United 11 of all time. But it's my 11, so I know there's no way that probably anyone will agree with my 11. We will all have our own favourite Newcastle United players, and that's half the reason I've put up this video, because I've been going over it so many times. And what's happened? The Chronicle have gone ahead and released the exact same idea a couple of days ago. So here is a text from my dad when I asked him who he thought the best Newcastle centre-backs were last Thursday. So that is my proof that I have actually been working on it and I've not just nicked their idea, but I will still leave a link to the Chronicles link in the description if you want to go read it. They've basically got a thing where you can go through and choose your own players. But yeah, let's get on to it. Make sure to get your comments in down below of what your greatest 11 is. There's going to be players in here which some of you guys might not have even heard of. There's going to be some players in here who are probably a bit newer and are probably worse than some of the older players. Like, Newcastle's been going for 125 years. And when I first started watching Newcastle, it was like the early 2000s Bobby Robson era. So there's a couple of older players in here and there's a couple of newer players in here, but I've got reasons for all of them. They're not necessarily because I watched them and thought they were amazing. Yeah, let's get on to it anyway. Right then, let's start things off and we'll start at the back. We'll start in goal, and I've gone for a player I think a lot of us will agree with, maybe not everyone. I've gone for Shay Given in goal. He was at the club for over 10 years. He made 463 appearances and he was a very good goalkeeper. I mean, he's the goalkeeper that strikes me straight away when I think of Newcastle United goalkeeper through the times. Like I say, he was here for ages. Obviously, he did leave to go to Man City. He's actually brought a book out recently. I've not read it, but apparently discusses more about why he left in his career. So it's not an ad, but if you want to check it out, it is available now. And yeah, I think he's deserving of that spot. Now then, the defence was very difficult for me. A lot of the defenders at Newcastle United that I've read about and heard about are all like older generation players. Right backs and left backs for me was a huge struggle to pick someone, so I've gone for three at the back, which I know Newcastle have never played. And probably, we might. Rafa might bring it in some point, but it's unlikely. You know what I'm saying? We've never really played that formation, and it's not right for me to do this. But the Chronicle went for the 4-3-3, and I can't remember the last time we played that formation, so bear with me. I'll throw out some honourable mentions. People like Enrique at left back. Decent. He got player of the season that one time. Bernard, he was always one to stand out. Beresford, I remember a bit of. Over on the other side, McCracken, I've heard of, but again, it's an older player. Barton, Debussy. That's why I've gone three at the back. I've gone for three centre-backs, and we'll start off with Bobby Moncur. So, played for us from 62 to 74, won us the Fairs Cup in 1969. And I know I've already said I didn't pick right backs and left backs because it was an older generation thing. The reason I've gone for Bobby Moncur is because my granddad never stopped talking about this guy. And it's my top 11. It's not just players I've seen, but it's players that I associate with Newcastle United. There's that iconic picture of him obviously holding that trophy, and that's something that sticks in my brain. So although I didn't have the luck of seeing Newcastle win any silverware yet, except the Intertoto Cup, which we won't count, but images like that stay in your head, and that's why I've included them in my top 11. Moving through the times to Filipe Alibe is my second centre-back in the squad, obviously most remembered for his chip over Schmeichel in that 5-0. Again, a massively iconic moment for Newcastle fans. My final centre-back, so keeping up with the times, and maybe not one you'll all agree with, but I've gone for Colaccini. He played for us from 08 to 16, so he spent a full 8 years at the club. And again, from my watching of Newcastle United, staying there for 8 years and being the captain of a lot of it. You know, he made it into the team of the season one year. Obviously, by the end of his career at Newcastle, Colaccini wasn't really doing fantastic, and we had all of the is he staying or is he going back to Argentina, which kind of tarnished it a little bit. But in his peak, Colaccini was a really good player. So those are my three at the back. One final mention would maybe be Woodgate. Woodgate was a very, very good centre-back, but due to injury, I think he played about 25 games for Newcastle, which was a real shame. We'll move into midfield and we'll start off on the right side for right midfield. And I'm actually looking at my bit of paper and I haven't actually wrote down any mentions for right mid other than the person I've selected, who is Nobby Solano. So good, we signed him twice. We played for us from 98 to 04 and then from 05 to 07. A very good player and very much loved by the fans, and he obviously loves us. He's got a restaurant in town, Solano's, if you want to go there, and I've been there and he was there. So if you want to go and say hello to Solano, then get yourself down. Very good player for us, great crosser of the ball, found Shearer's head or foot or whatever enough times in his career at Newcastle. And yeah, I'm pretty happy to say he's probably the best right mid we've had, or at least from what I've seen. Move over onto the left. I had two players in this position, and it was quite a close one actually. I went for Ginola, played for us from 95 to 97, so again, it's really pushing the boundaries on my memory, to be honest, but it was growing up with that era that I kind of slightly missed out on the Keegan era. It was really the more Bobby Robson, like the tail end of some of those players at the club. But obviously videos, and we know Ginola loves Newcastle, he loves Newcastle fans, and it's grown up with that. And that's why he's made it in my squad. The other player was Laurent Robert, who I thought about pulling in, magical left foot. I saw a lot more of him growing up in, again, my era of Newcastle United, but yeah, Ginola, it's that flair, and it's just the fact that obviously he loves the Newcastle fans as much as we loved him, and I think that's a massive thing as well. Right then, I'm still slightly deciding on my decision of, I've got 4 players, 5 actually, for the kind of centre mid, attacking centre mid, and I need to get it down to 3, but what I definitely know I'll be including in this squad is Gazza. Alright, so again, Gazza played for us from 85 to 88. I wasn't born, so I did not first-hand see Gazza play in a Newcastle United shirt, but I mean, Gazza, he's got to be in this top 11. For anyone who's creating a top 11, it's got to include Gazza. Absolute legend of Newcastle. He loves us, we love him, and just looking back at videos of him in a black and white shirt and what he did for England and what he did for other clubs, people say he's the most creative Englishman, like the last most creative Englishman, which is crazy. The most skillful, and like the amount of time that's gone by now and they're still saying how great Gazza was with his tricks and his flicks, and we're still waiting for that to come out of another player. So yeah, Gazza's got to be in there. I'm going to put Gazza centre mid. Alongside him, I'm going to go for Gary Speed. I've got another player who I'm not yeah, we'll go for Gary Speed, 98 to 04. I remember when he left us and thinking, why did he go? He could have played even longer. I think the idea was he'd get a bit of a signing on bonus at Bolton, I think it was he went to, and thinking, we should have just kept him, but he made 285 appearances for us. He's a legend through and through, Newcastle fans alike, and Leeds fans, and yeah. And in that attacking centre mid role, I'm going to put Peter Beardsley. So, played for us from 83 to 87, and then the era when I saw a bit of him was 93 to 97. Again, massively loved by the club, massively loved by the fans. He's a full-on Geordie. He manages the under-23s as well. My mind was going blank then. I remember he came to my school when I was in primary school and helped hand out certificates. I've seen him in Asda. And he was a fantastic player. Don't get me. It was all part of that era again, of the flair of the Keegan team. Peter Beardsley, massively loved, and who can blame us? He was a cracking player for our team. And yeah, Peter Beardsley. So that midfield is done. Players that I was also going to mention and was thinking about, Rob Lee. I think he's unlucky to miss out. I was a massive fan of him again. He played from 92 to 02. I remember going to the hairdressers with my dad or barbers and asking for the Rob Lee haircut. I think being called Rob was probably one of the main reasons I liked him so much. Because I'm called Rob, if you didn't know that already, otherwise it sounds weird. To which the barber replied, "What haircut does Rob Lee have?" And my dad said, "Short back and sides." So technically I might even still have the Rob Lee haircut now. But I mentioned obviously the iconic picture of Bobby Moncur holding the Fairs trophy, and you've obviously got to mention Joe Harvey, and possibly even more iconic photo of him holding the FA Cup. You see it all over the place around the ground. Never had the luxury of seeing him in action, but if I did, then I'm sure some of you guys may say that he should be in the team, along with probably a lot of other players at this point in the video. And that leaves 2 spaces for up top, which is ridiculous considering the amount of amazing strikers we have had in this team. The first one I'm going to go for is Jackie Milburn. Obviously, again, not a player I have had the luck of seeing in action. I've seen very, very old videos, limited old videos, but obviously he was the top goal scorer for Newcastle United for a long time. He lifted 3 FA Cups in his time at Newcastle, and again, my granda telling me how amazing Jackie Milburn was, and he's never seen anyone better in a black and white top, and it stuck with me. And I know he may be the 2nd top goal scorer in Newcastle United's history now, but I don't want people to forget Jackie Milburn. I want everyone to remember him. Obviously, as the generations go on, we're going to be talking about someone else who I will get onto in a second, but it's important to try and remember, you know, the old legends as well. And I think that brings us nicely on to my final player, Shola Ramiovi. No, it's Alan Shearer. Yeah, Alan Shearer, obviously top goal scorer for Newcastle. Hugely loved by the fans. You know, he had other options like Man U, and he could have done this and that. He chose Newcastle. He said he'd always wanted it and he'll never regret it. Scoring the all-time goals. I went to his testimonial. Yeah, all-around legend, as are all of the players I've mentioned already. Strikers that I've not mentioned: Andy Cole, Les Ferdinand, Asprilla, Shola Ramiovi, McDonald, even older Len White, Gallagher. We have had an assortment of, well, a lot of amazing strikers, and that is my top 11. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Maybe one other thing is to mention top manager. I'm not going to pick one, but you know, Bobby Robson, Kevin Keegan, Rafa Benitez, maybe 5 years time, who knows. But I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Like I said, this was my top 11, and it's a bit of fun more than anything else. So if you don't agree, make sure you let me know down in the comment with what players you may have put in instead. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed the video anyway. Drop a like if you have, subscribe if you are new. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later.
Milburn.